Today you're going to be downloading a template file for PC Draft. On the activity page, it says to download the file activity 1, and there's a little arrow next to it. If you click on the little arrow, it'll automatically download the file for you. The downloaded file goes up here into your downloads folder. Clicking on it opens up the file. Now this is a template file, so it's not saved. It's called Untitled 2 right now. Here's maybe something different. The very first thing you should always do is save your work. So under the File tab, it shows Save. This is called the ribbon, and then each one of these is a tab. So under the File tab is Save. The first time you save it, it's going to ask you, where do you want to save it? Do you want to save it on the desktop? Do you want to save it in your Documents folder? Or do you want to save it in what they call the H drive? This one right here is the H drive. It'll have your last name and your username on it of some sort. There's the home, the desktop, libraries, this PC, and this PC should have your H drive, your server drive. It's kind of like your Google Drive. And you'll click right there, whatever your last name is. You'll also want to save it. So there, I've double clicked on it. Now it's into my H drive. Always make sure your name is right there. You'll also want to give the file a name. So don't just leave it untitled. You want to name it your last name. So if your last name was Smith, you'd write Smith. And then activity 1. This way we know it's your file activity 1, and save. Now I can see it's Smith activity 1, and here we are ready to start using the software. As I said earlier, you have all of these tabs along here. The first tab that should concern you after File is the View. The first tab that should concern you is the Window tab. The Window tab opens up all the different windows. Right now you can see that I have the Tool window open. See, the Tool is kind of highlighted, but there's a Dimension window. There's an Accessory window. There's a Show Size window. I can click right here and it hides all of those windows, or hides them or opens them back up. I would click and have them all open up. We're going to be mostly using this, the tool palette. To begin with, we're going to be drawing some lines. This is the arrow, and you can hover your mouse right over the different tools and it shows you exactly what they're used for. Use this tool to select, resize, and move objects. Use this tool to select objects by drawing a rectangle around them. Use this tool to draw free and constrained lines. This is the first tool we'll be using. So if I click on that tool, I can draw a line anywhere on this page. Now this line is changing the different degrees. And if you look right down here, it shows me the degrees that it's changing. And it also shows me how long the line is. By clicking and holding it, you get more options. So I can have a 90-degree line, and now when I draw this line, it'll only be 90 degrees. 90 degrees straight that way, or 90 degrees straight that way, 90 degrees up, 90 degrees to the left. It's kind of hard to see what I'm doing right here, so I'm going to skip down all the way to this magnifying glass. You can use the magnifying glass two ways. I can click once on it. The magnifying glass has a little plus in it, and it zooms in. And I click it again, it zooms in even further. And I click it again, it zooms in even further. So it's zoomed in 12 times right now. If I hold the Alt key, the ALT key on the keyboard, it changes to a negative, and I can zoom back out. An easier way to do this is just to use the magnifying glass and then draw a box around what you want to zoom in on. And it now just zoomed in on that box. And then to get back to my home view, I can click on the 1-to-1. Go ahead and fill in all the lines on these 4 boxes as I do right now. I'll speed this up a little bit. And you can also move your windows around, your little tool windows and different windows around if you need to. I'm going to click on my arrow, I'm going to click on that line that I just made and hit the delete key and delete it. I'm going to do the same thing over here on this guy. Now I'm going to grab my 90-degree tool, line tool, and start drawing right on those lines. And see how they line up perfectly? Sometimes it looks like it's a little bit off, but when we zoom all the way out, you won't notice it. I'll finish all of these lines very quickly. Now, every so often, you should always go back and save your work. Remember to go back to the file and save your work. I don't have to do save as, I just click save and it updates my file, my Smith Activity 1 file. I'm going to use the hand tool now to move my screen to the next box and do the same thing. These are still 90-degree lines. Use my save. You should always save your work in case something happens with the computer. Go back to my hand tool. Now I have 45-degree lines. Using the same tool, hold it down and go to the 45s. It's okay if these ones don't line up perfectly with the other lines. Get them as close as possible to the lines. Save your work. Scroll down a little bit. I can also use this little bar right here to scroll up and down. And we have one last set of lines, the 30-degree lines. If that line is too long, say I went too far on there, I can always go back to the arrow and pull it back to where it needs to go. Sorry. Let me undo what I just did. Use the arrow and pull it back to where it needs to go. I can always also just click on it and hit the delete key on my keyboard to make it go away. Now I can finish off what I was doing before. By constraining your lines with this tool, it makes it much easier to get exact 30-degree lines versus using the regular tool and trying to make sure you're lined up at 30. I'm going to save my work. I'm going to go 1-to-1, and you can see I have all the lines done.